And good morning, Man Hour Nation. It is Thursday, January 18th, 2024, and that means it is time to break down some NFC Divisional playoffs. Hoffy and myself are going to give you 3 ways each team can win their respective games. We got the Packers taking on the mighty 49ers. We got the Lions taking on the Bucks. And Mike McCarty kept his job? What? But, as first. And now, Mike's thoughts. The Dallas Cowboys and Coach Mike McCarty have decided to stay married through 2024. They have decided that, they want to be together and make this marriage work. They're going to go through counseling. They're going to go through a little bit of self-reflection. But in the end, Mike McCarty is staying Dallas Cowboys head coach. So what does this mean for the Dallas Cowboys long term? Are they happy just making the playoffs? Are they happy being a 12-win team? Are they happy being a first-round exit? Only time will tell. Because obviously I feel 2024 for Mike McCarty and the Dallas Cowboys are a make-or-break season. We kind of thought 2023 was a make-or-break season, but it looks like Jerry Jones is feeling a little bit generous in his old age. Or, let's just be honest, Bill Belichick did not want to come to Dallas. That's what it boils down to. Bill Belichick did not want to come to Dallas. That is why Mike McCarty still has his job. So, guys, let me ask you this in the comments below. Legitimately, we got to ask this question. Does Mike McCarty have to win a Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys next year to keep his job moving forward? I'm not talking about a deep playoff run. I'm talking about strictly playoffs, making that deep run, winning the damn Super Bowl next season. Does he have to? Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhead here with the Man Hour. Report over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. And if you guys are going to be away from the home this weekend and you don't have access to watch the divisional playoff game, you don't have the access watching the Green Bay Packers beating the 49ers, you don't have access to the Detroit Lions beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, head over to manhourradio.com, click on that watch tab, and you can watch the live game right there on whatever device you're on, whether it be your iPhone, Android, tablet, whatever. manhourradio.com will have that game streaming for you. But guys, we officially opened up the phone lines again. The phone number is 812-406-0322. We have a new phone number, trying to do things out, trying to up our game. But the phone number is 812-406-0322. And Hoffy, welcome to the show, man. First things first, how's your day? How's your morning? How's your evening? How's that San Francisco hat?
My morning is good. Been up since about 3 a.m. with the newborn. Does not like to let his parents sleep. So I am ready and raring to go.
Ready and willing to do some sloppy toppy. But Hoffy, there's a reason why I was so adamant of getting the phone lines back open today. Today was the day that I was like, you know what? These phone numbers have got to be open, right? Which I got the application on my computer, so we're totally good there. But there's a guy by the name of John. I don't even want to say his last name. He was in my inbox last night talking a bunch of shit, Hoffy. This guy's like, you are just mad because your team lost. I'm like, technically my team won, but talk your shit, man. Let it all out. And this guy just kept using profanity after profanity after profanity. I'm like, okay, you know what, man? 10 a.m. East Coast time. Here's the phone number. Give me a call. Let's have a conversation. And guess what, Huffy? It's 10:06 a.m. and this John guy is not here. So, guys, with that being said, if you guys want to come into my inbox, run your mouth, and then when I give you the opportunity to jump on our platform, Huffy, and you don't even show up, get out of here with that shit, Huffy. Talk shit and back it up. I'm a clown. Shut up. Call me and say that to my face. Well, we got Art Brown. What is this? Art Brown. He says, good morning, man hour. What's up, Arthur? I assume it's Arthur. Art Brown. But hey, it is what it is. And he says, dang it, Facebook audio is not working for me. I have to watch it on YouTube. That's weird that it would be working on YouTube, but not Facebook, because it's literally streaming from the same exact place. But John, Jim, are you guys having issues on Facebook? Let me know, and we'll try to figure some things out. John says, always. People are always want to run away. And Jim says, profane.
Keyboard warriors.
What the F does that? Profanity. I said profanity, right? Did I say profane? I meant to say profanity. And then Arthur says, that's what dumb thugs do. They run their mouths, and when you offer them to have a civilized conversation, it is what it is.
Facebook seems to be working for me, at least.
Yeah, that's what Wayne G just said, the NFL Experts podcast said. It's not you guys. It's my crappy phone, you clown. It's my fault. It's my fault that Wayne G has a crappy Android phone. Go to Matt Coffee or Wayne.
Whoa.
What?
I already got my Mac. Don't be coming at me.
I try to retract it before you know how when you.
Oh, you got it wrong, you clown.
Yeah, you clown. But do you know how you start to say something and you feel something bad getting ready to come out of your mouth and you try to hold it back, but you're like putting an explanation on it, right? I
have no filter, so no. I just let it all come out like shit.
There's a girl at work, and she is a larger woman. Let's just say she's a little plump around the belly area. And I thought she looked a little larger than usual. And I said, so when's the baby due? What baby? Oh, shit. That's how the HR meeting started, right? But yeah, you know how you it was on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, bring that back, baby. But it's puked it out. But guys, it is Thursday, and we are going to talk a little bit of NFC playoff predictions. Well, not really predictions. We're going to give you guys 3 ways of how each team can win. We do have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Green Bay Packers, and then we have the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions, put some respect on the name, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hoffy, we had a quick little meeting pre-show, and we're going to start with the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to kick it to you first. So, Hoffy, how can the 49ers beat the Green Bay Packers this weekend?
Unlike the Dallas Cowboys did, the 49ers need to get out to a fast start. Do not let the Packers believe that they have a chance to take this game. Basically, you need to take the wind out of their sails immediately. Number 2 would be run defense. You have to make this Green Bay Packers team one-dimensional. When they're very effective running the ball, that opens up the play action, and that is when you're going to see Packers quarterback Jordan Love be able to be really effective in taking his shots down the field and finding open receivers. The San Francisco 49ers pass defense hasn't been as stout as they have in years past, so I think you really need to harp on that run defense and make that Packers team one-dimensional, so you're not having to decipher on whether or not it is going to be a run pass option play and whatnot. So run defense is going to be huge, and also they are going to be getting Eric Armstead back after missing the last 5 games. So I think that's going to be a huge add for the 49ers. And third and lastly, run the ball. The Packers surrendered the 5th most rushing yards, 8th most rushing first downs to opposing teams this season. And it just so happens that the 49ers have the best running back in the game right now. They had 4 games where the opposing team ran for 200 or more yards. The last 49ers running back to face off against the Packers at Levi Stadium, was in the playoffs. I think it was 4 years ago. It was Raheem Mostert. He totaled 29 touches, 220 yards, 4 touchdowns, and that was in an NFC Championship game. So they need to duplicate that success and run the ball. Those are my 3 keys to victory for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, so just to recap, Hoffy's victory keys to victory here for the San Francisco 49ers is Hoffy wants them to start fast. Get on the scoreboard early and like often. Stop Aaron Jones, because that man's still running in Dallas, let's just be honest. And then run the damn ball with the best running back in the NFL. So, guys, do you agree with Hoffy's keys to victory, or you disagree with Hoffy's keys to victory? Let us know in the comments below, and we will discuss it as the time permits going on here. But I was tasked of giving the how the Green Bay Packers can win this weekend versus San Francisco 49ers. No, let me rephrase that. This is how they will win versus the San Francisco 49ers. And the first thing that I want what the Green Bay Packers to do this weekend is to stop the run. Exactly what you said, Hoffy. The last time the Green Bay Packers played the San Francisco 49ers in a playoff game, Raheem Mostert rushed for 220 yards. That guy was unstoppable. And just like you said, CMC is the best running back in the game right now. You limit CMC's touches, you limit CMC's yardage on the ground, in the air, in general, it limits what the San Francisco 49ers can do over and over again. So if you stop the run, take CMC out of the game, that will make my other 2 keys a hell of a lot easier. Now, the next one, I want the Green Bay Packers to keep running the ball. Just like you said, Hoffy, Aaron Jones had 21 carries for 118 yards. This man, scored 2 or 3 touchdowns versus the Dallas Cowboys. He was unstoppable. Now, Aaron Jones did miss 6-7 games earlier this season. Okay, cool. That means he's fresh. That means he is in peak performance. That means he is ready to run up and down the field. Give Aaron Jones the ball over and over and over again. And when you do this, this keeps the San Francisco 49ers offense off of the field. So when you keep the San Francisco 49ers off of the field, that makes them a little bit more pressured, more to get the ball pushed down the field, kind of limits CMC even more, which gives me my 3rd key to victory for the Green Bay Packers, and that is you have to tempt Brock Purdy to make big plays. What do I mean by that? Every time Brock Purdy tries to push the ball down the field, kind of take CMC out of the equation, kind of take it upon his shoulders, Brock Purdy's butthole starts to pucker, and the San Francisco 49ers start to crumble. In the 4 losses this season, I'm not counting the Rams loss because Brock Purdy did not play, but the 4 losses that Brock Purdy had this season, he had 1 interception versus the Browns, 2 interceptions versus the Vikings, 2 interceptions versus the Bengals, and 4 interceptions versus the Ravens. So when Brock Purdy is tempted with those big plays down the field, he is going to make mistakes. He is going to throw interceptions. And how do you do that? Bring Jair Alexander, bring the rest of the Packers secondary up, pressure Debo, pressure Brandon Ayuk, put somebody on George Kittle, pop him in the mouth, and take away CMC. I want to see man covers on the outside. I want to see 8 guys in the box, stop the run for CMC, stop it. I want the Green Bay Packers to run the ball over and over and over again and tempt Brock Purdy with those big plays. Hoffy, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel about my 3 keys to the Packers winning?
I think they're spot on. I mean, I think last week we saw the first time that a 7 seed has upset a number 2 seed, and quite frankly, I don't know what the point differential is for the 49ers. Obviously they're favored.
It's 9.5.
9.5. I think it's going to be much closer than that. I think this is actually. I think the Packers have a legitimate shot of, with how they've been playing this second half of the season. I think they have a legitimate shot of going into San Francisco and upsetting them. I think a lot of times you see the teams that coming off of the off week or the bye week, whatever you want to call it, tend to start slow. And if the Packers can continue where they left off last week, I think they can. If they can jump out to a hot start and just like they did against Dallas and just kind of punch them in the mouth, we'll see how they respond, because a lot of times this year, the 49ers have started out hot and just rolled downhill right from the get-go. So I'm interested, I'm really looking forward to this game as a fan.
Yeah, and just to add to your point there, the 49ers have basically had 3 weeks off, right? They played about a half a game versus the Commanders. Most of the starters did not play against the Rams, and of course they had a bye week last week, so they had about 2.5, 3 weeks off here. But let's go ahead and jump up into the comments here. Timothy says, maybe there he is. Timothy says, KC is going to go down, man. We will talk about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills game tomorrow. Be sure to tune in tomorrow and talk your shit on the Chiefs. I like to hear it. I kind of like the Buffalo Bills in this game. John says, correct, determine, domination, man hour, Huffy. All righty. Arthur Brown says the real identity comes out in the playoffs. That is facts. Your true colors come out in the playoffs because, let's just be honest, Dallas Cowboys 12 and 5. The Philadelphia Eagles like 11 and 6, right? No longer there. True identities do come out. Jim Powell says football 101. Hoffy is exactly correct in the run game. It ain't happening, but he's right. NFL Experts podcast says 49ers allowing opposing teams to complete 66% of their passes, and Jordan Love is completing 75% of his passes in the last 5 games. Chase Young and Nick Bosa need to apply pressure.
I agree with that, and that's why it starts with shutting down the run so you can pin those ears back and get after the quarterback, and that allows the cornerbacks to, kind of get comfortable and whatnot, but you need to make them one-dimensional and make them throw the ball every single play so you can allow those defenders to kind of know what's coming.
So let me ask you this question. We actually talked about Jordan Love yesterday. We've seen the growth of Jordan Love over the 6, 7, 8, 9 games of this last season. You said you want him to throw the ball every play. I almost want to take the ball out of his hands. I almost want them to run the ball against me and, just deflate their ego a little bit about those big plays and let Aaron Jones kind of maybe get his a little bit. Possibly. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking outside the box here, but obviously if the Green Bay Packers are throwing the ball every play, that usually means they're probably playing from behind, and that's a good thing for the San Francisco 49ers. John says one of his keys is stop CMC, stop CMC, stop CMC, stop CMC, and, oh, by the way, stop CMC. And then he says also slow the tempo of the game. Do the 49ers really want to slow the tempo, though? Because if they're slow, obviously, I think Brock Purdy is a game manager, right? And that is not a bad term, by any stretch of the imagination. So if the 49ers slow the tempo, do you think that it favors the 49ers or the Packers in this game?
I think he's referring to the Packers slowing the tempo, because if he's saying stop CMC and slow tempo of the game, but yeah, I think slowing the tempo of the game is going to favor the Packers. But we will see.
Yeah.
He said at the bottom that was for Green Bay.
Yeah, so John also says, you're saying Green Bay versus Houston in the Super Bowl. I did not say that at all, but it would be fun to watch, I guess. I don't know. Jameson's in the chat. He says San Francisco wins easily. They are favored by 9.555 points, and the NFL API has them as a 80% chance of winning this game. So Hoffy, let's put it on the line here. 9.5 point favorite for the San Francisco 49ers. 80% chance win probability. Who do you got winning this game and why?
I almost want to go on a limb and say the Green Bay Packers just because, the 1 week off and how Jordan Love has been playing of late. And then also so that if they do win, I could probably be the one and only that says they're going to win. And then also it's a win-win for me because I'm rooting for the 49ers. So, but that being said, I'm going to stick with my Bang Bang Niner gang.
Bang Bang Niner gang in your San Francisco Giants hat. Got it. But I thought you were a Patriots fan. Like, can you not be a fan of two teams? I'm clown. But
it's 50, my loyalty is 50-50. Half my life in Boston, half in San Francisco.
Kind of like your love life. I'm 50-50. Half the time I like ladies, half the time I like little boys. We get it. No, I'm kidding. Jameson says Liners win easily 38-20. Caroline says I'm taking the 49ers all the way. John's picking the Packers 31-24. Looks like I got a bunch of repeats there. But Hoffy, I've been leaning toward the Packers for the last couple days here. And when I was doing my research for those keys, watching film, reading some articles, reading stats, I started leaning to the Packers a hell of a lot more because Jordan Love has been great the last 6 games for sure. He was great versus the Dallas Cowboys, arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL. And I think the Green Bay Packers are going to do what they did to the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to start quick. They're going to run through that San Francisco defense that first series, and the San Francisco 49ers are going to be back on their heels like, whoa, what is going on? They've been off for 3 weeks. Eric Armstead's been off for what, 8 or 9? He's been out for like a while, but his first game back, he is going to be a little rusty, right? I think I'm going to go with John. I'm picking the upset. I'm picking the Green Bay Packers. I want to see the Green Bay Packers win. I think Jordan Love is going to play well, and I think Aaron Jones is going to rush for $150. Sorry, Hoffy, your 49ers, bang, bang, Niner game is going to bang, bang, pew, pew, shoot, I shot myself in the foot. Because we've been living on this high that we're, high and mighty, right? The Green Bay Packers defense sneakily is getting very, very good. Jair Alexander played on a sprained ankle last week, and he looked like damn near one of the top corners in the league. You put him one-on-one on Debo, jam him at the line. I don't care if Debo has legs growing out of his shoulders, like how big they are.
He's not going to be able to stop, or he can't jam Debo Samuel. He's like half his size. Debo will pick him up and toss him onto the sideline real quick.
That is what I want him to do. I want Debo to get so worried about fighting the jam, and they're going to go deep, which therefore tempts Brock Purdy to do those big plays, which throws interceptions, takes CMC out of the game. Packers win.
Jet sweeps, slants. No need for the go route. You got Brandon Ayuk for that. You're going to have George Kittle sitting in the middle, sitting down on his routes. Not happening. I think the Packers defense that we saw at the beginning of this season is going to come out to play this weekend.
They can come out to play all they want, but John says they're going to be rusty, and I think they are. I think they're going to be rusty. And no urine screen on him? No, I don't know urine screen. I piss dirty 9 times out of 10, and I just get a little oil change before our drug test in college, and we're good to go. If you don't know what oil change is, look it up. Look it up. But Hoffy's got the 49ers. I got the Packers. I think we're still on with the NFL experts with our picks, Hoffy. Wayne G and both Mark did pick the 49ers to win this game as well. So we'll see how this all plays out in the end. But moving on to this next game, guys, we do have the Detroit Lions taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Detroit Lions won their first home playoff game since 1991 last weekend with the win over the Rams, and they are favored 6.5 points in this game, and they have a 62% win rate per the NFL API. So, Hoffy, with that being said, give me 3 ways the Bucs can win this game.
I don't know if it's possible, but 3 ways they can win the game. Pressure Jared Goff. Vita Vea and the defensive line, they definitely need to pressure Jared Goff. You need to force him into mistakes, turnovers. I don't think that you want to get into a shootout with this Detroit Lions team if you are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that is a recipe for disaster. I think if you get into a shootout and you start having to just put the ball in Baker's hands, that's when, Baker's not at his best. We saw it last week when they were able to, kind of run, not have to take those deep routes and just nickel and dime down the field. That is when I believe Baker is at his best. Number 2 and 3 are going to be players. I think these 2 players are going to be the key to success, one on each side of the ball. The first one being Mike Evans. Him and Baker connected 79 times this year, 1,255 yards, 13 touchdowns. This is the 10th consecutive season in which Evans finished north of 1,000 yards. Last week he had 3 catches, 48 yards against Philadelphia. He's going to have to replicate that production and maybe even add some of that to that production. I think going against Cam Sutton and, the holes in this Lions secondary, he's going to have to exploit those holes and have himself a big game in order for the offense to be successful and give them an opportunity to win this game. Secondly, on defense, Antoine Winfield Jr. He career high this year in tackles, sacks, forced fumbles, passes defended, interceptions. He ranks second best among all safeties, all pro honors this year for the first time in his career. And he is an excellent run defender. Never afraid to come down from that safety spot and make a tackle, hit somebody in the mouth. He's going to have to be a big factor in stopping the run efforts of Detroit's backfield tandem in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. So, that's going to be, you got to stop that 2-headed monster. And I think that's going to be up to Vita Vea as well as Antoine Winfield Jr. Those are my 3 keys to success for Tampa Bay.
So Hoffy is saying need to pressure some Jared Goff, get him on the run. Mike Evans needs to catch the ball, no more 2-drop touchdowns, and Winfield needs to pop St. Brown in the mouth over and over and over again. So Javi, with that being said, I'll give you 3 ways how the Detroit Lions can win this game. And just to recap, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions did play back on week 6 of this NFL season. And in that game, they did win 22-6, but the Detroit Lions seemed to leave some meat on that bone per se. Earlier in the first quarter, they had a turnover. They had 3 plays. They could not move the ball 1 yard. They had to settle for a field goal. They had to settle for a late field goal as well late in that game. And this game could have been really lopsided if they would have been able to capitalize on those field goals and turnovers that they had in those games. So my first key to this game is the Detroit Lions have to keep eating. They cannot leave meat on the bone. They cannot give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers any opportunity, any sniff of a comeback whatsoever. Once you have the Buccaneers in the coffin, you need to hammer those nails in there. You need to sit on it, and you need to let them suffocate. Do not leave meat on the bone and keep eating over and over and over again. Next up, you mentioned Baker Mayfield, Hoffy, and that is my key number 2, is do not let Baker Mayfield get hot. Last week versus the Philadelphia Eagles, he went 22 for 36 for 337 yards for 3 touchdowns. Now, Mike Evans did have 2 big drops, so this game could have been Baker Mayfield could have had 5 touchdowns. He could have had 400 yards, right? These were big drops by Mike Evans, but you cannot let Baker Mayfield get hot. I love me some Baker Mayfield, but when Baker Mayfield plays bad, the rest of the Buccaneers play bad as well. In the losses this season that the Buccaneers have suffered, Baker Mayfield has thrown an interception and threw below 55% completion percentage. So far this season as a whole, he has 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns to 10 interceptions to 64%. So if you let Baker Mayfield throw an interception, keep the completion percentage down around 50%, let Baker get cold. Do not let him get hot, because when Baker gets hot, it's going to be a long, long game. And my next key to victory, is Adrian Hutcherson. You have to let Hutch. Adrian Hutcherson has 11.5 sacks this season, which is tied for 11th this season. He has the second most QB pressures this season with 101, only second behind to Micah Parsons. But this postseason, so far, he has the most quarterback pressures, he has the most tackles, and he has the most sacks. Let Adrian Hutcherson pressure Baker Mayfield. Don't worry about any inside stunts. Just let him get up in his sprinter stance, swat those arms down, and get to Baker Mayfield over and over and over again. And those are my keys to the victory here is don't let anything left on the field. Keep eating. Don't let meat on the bone. Keep Baker from getting hot and let Hutch eat. Hoffy, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, I think Baker Mayfield will be the make or break for this team this week. You said it best. I mean, in games where they win, he's really hot. In games where they lose, he throws below 55% completion percentage, turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs. We saw that last week with the Cleveland Browns. They the 2 pick sixes really did them in. Dallas, the turnovers is kind of really what started the downfall of Green Bay, just really taking them to the woodshed. So yeah, Baker Mayfield needs to take care of the ball. And we saw last week that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did a lot of 6-men down there in the box and blitzing. I expect Todd Bowles to have a very similar game plan and put pressure on Jared Goff, much like they did with Jalen Hurts. However, I expect the Detroit Lions to be ready to play, unlike the Philadelphia Eagles last week, where they didn't even, I don't even think they came out of the tunnel, to be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, they come out in a little second quarter, kind of had me worried, but I was like, it's over. So let me ask you this question. Let's say you were going to pick the Buccaneers to win this game. Are you more worried about the Detroit Lions running game with Ty Montgomery and Gibbs, or are you more worried about their passing game with Jameson and St. Brown and Sam Laporta?
I don't know that I could pick either one. I mean, you got Laporta, St. Brown, then you got Gibbs, in the backfield. I mean, they're both just as dangerous. I think you need to negate all of it. But I think that, I think you would rather have them run the ball. So I guess you want to take out that passing game and keep Detroit from just putting up, big plays and make them just kind of run the ball, shorten the game up a little bit. Make this if you're going to win this game, make it be 24-21. So that way, you don't want. I think if they start having big plays to Mon St. Brown and such, Baker Mayfield's going to want to get those plays back as well. And so I think you just need to keep it close and keep Baker Mayfield from just, trying to get it all back in one play. So right. I would say that you should shut down the pass and then hope that, the linebackers, which they have some pretty good linebackers. They got Vita Vea as well. They got some young outside linebackers. So I guess I'd say stop the pass and hope that, the 6 guys down in the box can stuff the run as well.
All right. So with that being said, time to put the money where the mouth is, right? The Lions are favored by 6.5 points in this game, 62% chance of winning percentage. They are, kind of on a roll, right? But who do you got? Lions or Bucks?
I'm gonna take the Lions, and I'm gonna take the over too. I think that this is much like the first meeting. I think they're gonna win by 10 plus points.
Yeah. I've been kind of on the Buccaneers all season long. I thought they were going to win their division. I thought they were going to win a wild card game, but I think this is kind of where the buck stops. And unfortunately, they're kind of entering into a buzzsaw where the Detroit Lions are kind of clicking on all cylinders right now. I am picking the Lions to win this game as well. So, guys, in the comments below, let us know who do you got winning this game. And Caroline says Detroit Lions all the way. John also says, restoring the roar in 24, but Baker Mayfield makes me nervous. Baker Mayfield is definitely the X factor in this game, 100%. The Bucs go as far as Baker Mayfield takes him. Jim Powell says the NFL expert boys are whooping that ass. Whooping that candy asses. Get
Got us by one game.
Get out of here. Get out of here. John says Lions 27-24. I don't think the score gets above 20. I'm thinking like 20-10, 20-13 type of score. I think it's going to kind of be a defensive slugfest, to be honest.
Do you think that Baker Mayfield has done enough to be back in Tampa next year?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If Baker Mayfield is not the starting quarterback with a contract for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next season, they are doing something wrong.
Do you think that I know at the beginning of this year, it seemed like they were going to kind of just go their separate ways with Mike Evans, but I don't think they're expecting to be. I think they're expecting to have to completely rebuild. But do you think that they keep Mike Evans too and just kind of maybe add some pieces if at all possible?
Well,
I think that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I think they just signed Chris Godwin to an extension earlier this season. Mike Evans, I don't know what his contract situation. I don't know if he's a free agent or not, but
He'll be a free agent.
I feel like you have to keep Mike Evans, and I think Baker Mayfield would take some type of hometown discount per se to keep a receiver like Mike Evans. Now, I don't know what Mike Evans' age is. I feel like he's been in the league forever, but every time I say that guy's like 27. But Mike Evans is definitely the bread and butter to that team. But on the flip side of the coin, they need their running backs to step up as well. They do have 3 or 4 running backs to start this season now. I think they only have like Rashad White maybe left. But to answer the question, I think Mike Evans has to be your focal point this offseason is to get him signed first.
I think they have some more salary cap to play with this coming year. I think a lot of the salary cap this year was taken up by a dead hit from the Tom Brady contract.
Yeah.
So I think that they should hopefully, for their sake, be out of cap jail next year and should be able to get both Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield back, and maybe you spend your first round pick on, much like the Kansas City Chiefs have done. And I think Pacheco was a first round pick. Was he not, or was he? Or no, it was Clyde's Hilaire.
Yeah.
But I think if they can get a
7th round pick, I thought he was
yeah,
late,
yeah, you're right. If they could get somebody in the first round, a lot of times that's where they're picking is a lot of times where you're going to see that first running back come off the board, unless it's someone like a Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
But if they can get a running back, like that's going to contribute like what Gibbs has done this year for the Detroit Lions, I think that would that would really help.
Yeah. Spoiler alert: Bill Belichick is going to Tampa Bay and lead them to a Super Bowl. So yeah, how like those apples.
He's going to Atlanta.
Yeah, probably. Jim says, if Tampa Bay plays the same type of game they played last week, Detroit is going home. I have no feelings about it, but you let Goff get behind you with St. Brown, it will be ugly. Listen, the way the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played last week, I don't think they can challenge anybody out there. They can challenge the 49ers, they can challenge the Lions, they can challenge the Packers. The Buccaneers played a really good game. Jim also says Hutch will look good in silver and black next year. Yeah, because Max Crosby is getting traded to the Detroit Lions, and you guys are sending over like a first-round pick and a second-round pick plus Max Crosby to get Aiden. My bad, John. Aiden Hutchinson, not Adrian. Focal point. John says object to the Detroit Lions is a balanced attack, run and pass. They're very balanced. Jim says Gibbs is Pacheco and Pacheco is Gibbs. That is false. Isaiah Pacheco is heads and shoulders above Jahmyr Gibbs. On your team, would you rather have Isaiah Pacheco, Hoffy, or Jahmyr Gibbs?
I mean, I guess when you say it that way, I guess I think if you had Pacheco on the Lions, he's not as valuable. I think the Kansas City Chiefs need, having Mahomes, they need Pacheco as far as that bruising running back.
Right.
I think Gibbs fits in great with Detroit as far as he's multi-dimensional. He can run. He can, you can give him screen passes and stuff like that. I think both of them really fit their team's offensive game plan. So I guess it would, depend. I think as far as for the Patriots and, McCorkle, I think that Gibbs would be a better option because, Mac Jones can check down to him because Mac Jones is the check down king. But give me, and same thing with like Tom Brady. Tom Brady loved his receiving, running backs. But Pacheco in if I'm Buffalo, I'd take Pacheco. I think he would be solid with Josh Allen. So I guess it just kind of depends what system you're operating on.
So we had a waffle around that answer, and I'm going to waffle as well. Gibbs is a perfect fit for Detroit, and Pacheco is a perfect fit for Kansas City. So I can kind of see what Jim's saying. But if you would put Gibbs on Kansas City and Pacheco on Detroit, I don't think they would be as valuable to said teams. But I do think Isaiah Pacheco would be more rounded back if he was on the Lions than Gibbs would be on the Chiefs. So I guess in that sense, it would be Isaiah Pacheco. John says it would be stupid for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lose Baker. I guess so. Let's think about it. There are potentially some free agent quarterbacks out there that's going to be a free agent. You got Kirk Cousins. You're going to have Trey Lance is going to be a free agent. I believe so. Dak Prescott. There are some potentials out there, but yeah, Baker Mayfield is the correct answer. The real question,
I think Lance has one more year plus that 5th-year option.
Who does?
Lance, because him and Mac Corkle are on the same contract, so I think they each have 1 year plus that 5th-year option.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I don't think Dallas will pick up that 5th-year option because I think that would be a big number, seeing how he was the number two pick in the draft. So
yeah,
that probably comes with a big cap hit.
It all depends how this offseason goes, right? Does Trey Lance have a good offseason and possibly battle Dak Prescott for that starting position, right? It all comes down to June, July, August, to be honest. John says the real question, can they reciprocate? I don't know how to say that word. Can they repeat what they did last week? That is the real question. But guys, that is going to be it for today's show. NFC Divisional round preview here. 3 ways each team can win. Tomorrow we're doing the AFC. We got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Buffalo Bills. Got the Ravens taking on the Houston Texans. 3 ways each team can win. But Javi, just to recap, who do you got this weekend on NFC side?
49ers and Detroit Lions.
And I'm taking the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions. So both of NFL experts took the Lions as well. So Javi will either be up 1 game or down 1 game because of me. So it's all on me, baby. I love it. Send us out, big guy.